Sometimes the anticipation for a certain AAA game that you want to play can be unbearable. Countless delays or even the threat of complete cancellation only make the situation worse. However, information leaks can both fuel gamers' interest and anger them, as they can either harm or promote the game. It could be a simple leak of a new character or, worse yet, story spoilers that somehow ended up on the internet before the release. It happens that a game hasn't even been released yet but is already available on torrents, despite all the preventative measures taken by the studio and publisher. As development progresses, it becomes increasingly difficult to keep secrets, putting pressure on gaming companies. If a game is shown too early, it's better for it to look good. Because if it doesn't, unreasonable expectations combined with an unfinished demo build can lead to a financial disaster. It seems that developers must sit on the edge of their seats because neither indie projects, nor AA games, nor even big blockbuster AAA titles are immune to such situations. Of course, some leaks can be talked about for a week and successfully forgotten, but others will remain in the minds of players and developers for many years. So, as you rightly understood, we will not only talk about the Stalker 2 leak problem, but also about other games that were leaked before their release. One of the most hyped games in recent years has been Cyberpunk 2077. Gamers were eager to dive into the dystopian world that had been created over the years, but the release didn't go as expected. However, what you might not have known is that this was just a small breeze before a real storm that was brewing within the studio. Someone hacked CDPR's servers and stole the source code for several projects, both existing and future. The hackers had access to confidential information and commercial secrets of the studio. The hackers wanted to negotiate with the developers, but when CDPR refused to play by their rules, the hackers attempted to sell the information through an online auction. Eventually, the auction was cancelled because the hacker agreed to sell the code to an unknown party. It is believed that this cyber criminal made millions of dollars from the deal. Despite this very unpleasant incident, CDPR seems to have not suffered much, especially considering that almost no one mentions it. It is possible that they were able to buy back everything themselves, simply not spreading the word about it. Undoubtedly, the hype around GTA 6 has reached its peak. Back in September of last year, a leak occurred at Rockstar that resulted in almost 90 videos with ultra-early gameplay being leaked online. These videos showcased an early build of the game with the main character and locations. At first, gamers were skeptical of the leak since it looked like a fan-made mod or some kind of fake. However, it turned out to be a real dev build intended only for the eyes of the developers. Furthermore, Rockstar later confirmed that the leak was real. One of the biggest leaks in gaming history revealed a lot of details about the highly anticipated game. Luckily, apart from a few raw locations, minor details, and the fact that there is a female protagonist, nothing more has been leaked on the internet. The GTA 6 leak was so massive and shocking that it caught the attention of the FBI, who began investigating the matter. They say that justice has caught up with the criminal, as several arrests have been made in the UK related to this case. You don't need me to recommend The Last of Us from Naughty Dog to you. It came out at the end of the life cycle of the PS3 and became one of the favorite franchises for the Japanese console. Of course, the next part, The Last of Us 2, became the biggest project for PlayStation in 2020. People were eagerly waiting for its release to see how the story would develop and what adventures would await Ellie and Joel in the sequel. Unfortunately, hackers had other plans as they decided to completely spoil the surprise for millions of gamers. This leak became a disaster as it detailed the plot and even showed videos that confirmed everything was true. It contained the biggest plot twists and literally the entire story. Do I need to explain how bad this is for a game that is primarily focused on the story? And to make matters worse, fans were outraged by what awaited them in the game. Many people canceled their pre-orders and refused to buy the game. The story sparked negative reactions, and some idiots even threatened the developers with death. Fortunately, the game still had critical commercial success and became one of the best post-apocalyptic games. It wasn't just a leak, but a real river that flowed in honor of the release of Far Cry 6. Initially, the sixth installment was supposed to be released in February 2021, but was postponed to October of the same year. During these 8 months, tons of information started pouring in through various channels. First of all, 8 minutes of gameplay were shown before the planned release date. Before the gameplay leak, the plot also made its way onto the internet. Fans found out that the characters Anton Castillo and Diego would play an important role in the story. This leak also confirmed Giancarlo Esposito's participation as the antagonist. The public reacted to the leak with surprise, but it had only a positive vibe. Nonetheless, Ubisoft, the kings of leaks, had more surprises in store. They don't even give hackers a break. Leaking information is a routine matter for this company. We provided those examples for a reason. You probably understand that leaks in the industry are a common practice. They have always been and always will be. Now let's get to the main point. Recently, scammers from the Russian Federation leaked a lot of materials about Stalker 2. This is the gathering of non-fans who call themselves the Heralds of Stalker. They issued an ultimatum to the developers, demanding a review of the policy regarding players from Russia and Belarus, and the resumption of work on the cancelled Russian localization. GSC told the audience in a statement that the leak occurred due to a hacked employee account in a collaboration application. At the same time, the developers emphasized that attempts to blackmail or threaten them are futile and pointless, especially considering the way these scammers are blackmailing the game's creators. These villains got their hands on complete information about the world, the plot, including descriptions of cutscenes and objects, design documents with art and screenshots, early gameplay, renders and tests of animation and visual effects, the first data on planned DLC, and much more. In general, the archive size is about 16 gigabytes. However, the situation seemed generally very bad. But not everything is as it seems. Let's go over a few important points. So first of all, I would like to talk about the comparison of screenshots that Russian bloggers in their videos have called a scam. These are screenshots after being edited with a graphics editor that the PR department of the studio used for the PC Gamer magazine at the end of the 2021. I apologize to GSC, but I want to show these comparisons so that everyone can understand that this is nonsense from the debunkers from Russia. Just take a look and everything will become clear. At first glance, it's not immediately clear which ones are from the leak and which ones are not. Despite the small difference in the level of detail in the environment, the graphics look stunning everywhere. So, of course, there is a difference, but it is barely noticeable and minimal. These pictures differ only in the fact that the processed version has more effects and slightly better detailing. And it seems to me that all studios do this right. In short, an intelligent person will immediately understand that the game was already in great condition even at that time. And this was, I remind you, in December of 21. I want to ask these Russian scammers, so where are the cons? To put it simply, the leak itself isn't all that interesting to hackers, as it doesn't contain anything that could harm the game or reveal critical information about the project. The leaked content is just a collection of concept art, documents, screenshots, and animations without any playable build. Some documents do reveal plot details, but they don't pose a threat to the continuation of the Stalker series. Despite this, the game looks fantastic even at this stage of development, and it's one of the most anticipated games of the year. The leak actually provided interesting content for fans who have been eagerly waiting for news about the game. It seems like the leak got out of control from Russian hackers, and it played into the hands of the developers, as the game has risen quickly in the global sales ranking on Steam. In summary, Stalker 2 is an almost perfect candidate for a marketing campaign, as fans have been waiting for a sequel to the original game for a long time. The leak may have caused some problems, but ultimately it provided interesting content for fans and helped generate more buzz for the game. It's no wonder that the game is now rapidly climbing up the sales charts on Steam. In addition, the shooter is currently ranked 7th in the wishlist ranking. Don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts on this topic. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Stay with us, it's going to get even more interesting from here on out. See you on Subgamer, watch and play with us.